August 20th to order. Let me lead us in a word of prayer, please. Our dear Heavenly Father, we're thankful for this day. We're thankful for the opportunity we have to serve the citizens of Glynn County. Help us to be understanding of the issues at hand and help us to be cognizant of the funds that the citizens of Glynn County have trusted us with. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Yeah.
We don't have any public
Yes,
comment.
we do.
We do? Who do we have?
Public comment.
Somebody
Yes.
want to,
I'm sorry?
somebody wants to make a
We
comment?
do. We have two citizens. We've got Marcia and Devin from Bell Point neighborhood with a subject matter of septic issues.
Okay. Who? Go ahead. Are y'all together?
Yeah.
Okay.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Devin O'Connell. I live at 207 King Cotton in the Bell Point neighborhood. I'm super nervous. I have no idea what to say, so please bear with me.
Just relax. We're just like you. I'm nervous too.
So I lived in Bell Point for 4 years now, and we're on septic, and I think a significant amount of the neighborhood is on septic as well. And it is my septic system works perfectly. I've had it serviced multiple times now, thinking that the system might be the issue, but it works perfectly fine. And my tank right now is completely full. It's usually full, and it works just fine. But when we get any significant amount of rain, the neighborhood gets saturated, and our septic tank won't drain out into the leach field like it's supposed to. So what happens is if we get even, a minor thunderstorm, we are unable to use our toilets. We can't use the sink. We can't take showers because everything just backs up. I have a 16-year-old who's a junior in high school right now, and when it rains, he can't take a shower before school. We watch the weather and we look ahead for storms that might be coming. And if we see a storm coming, we use the bathroom, we take showers, we make sure all the dishes are washed so that we won't have to use, so that we won't be sending water out of the house at all until the leach field has drained. And so my house sits, my backyard butts up to a drainage canal, which then on the other side of that is the highway. And I know we've had the cities come out and cleared out those canals for us to help with drainage, but it has not helped. Anybody that I've spoken with in the neighborhood has said the same thing, that the drainage, clearing out those canals just hasn't helped at all. And my kid told me, he's a junior, so there's probably a little bit of exaggeration, but he said on his bus alone, there are 20, 30 kids who have the same issue. That's just on his bus. He said at his high school, there are another 30, 40 kids who have the same issue that live in our neighborhood. So, those numbers might be inflated a little bit, but, it gives you kind of an idea of the scale of the amount of people who are affected by it. It got to the point for me 2 years ago where I reached out and I ended up speaking with Mr. Ransom. And I actually contacted a private contractor and got blueprints and all that stuff sent to them to get an estimate to see what it would cost to get me. I'm in the middle of the two entrances to the neighborhood, to get me hooked on to the nearest septic line, which is at the north entrance. And it was tens, hundreds of thousands of dollars, but it's that bad that I was willing to take that step and see what the cost would be to have septic installed, because I'm not exaggerating. If we get any amount of rain, we can't flush our toilets. We can't take showers. We can't, use water. If we try to do dishes, the septic backs up into the bathtubs. And I'm speaking on behalf of the entire neighborhood. I guess I hope I'm doing an okay job, but there are a significant number of people who would be very interested in tying into city water and sewer if it were to be put in our neighborhood.
So you're not on water either?
We're on water, but not sewer.
Okay.
Yeah.
You have a mound system, or are you just on a flat backyard?
It's actually our front yard, and it's
Front yard. But
Yes,
is it a mound system or flat?
flat.
How many houses are in the neighborhood?
Oh, I have no idea.
I'm gonna
A lot.
be a couple hundred. Yeah, easy.
Yeah, hundreds. Yeah.
Yeah.
We appreciate you coming, and we're trying to extend sewer as we can to different areas that are unsewered. And so we'll certainly look into it. We'll get the engineers and see what can be done.
We'd certainly.
King Cotton, that's what I call Central Bell Point. And then you got East Bell Point and South Bell Point. Are those on, any of that on sewer, or just North Bell Point's on?
As far as I know,
As far as I know, it's just Crossbrook North.
correct.
From Crossbrook to the north is on sewer. Anything south of Crossbrook's not on sewer.
That's my understanding as well from speaking with Mr. Ransom. The entire south,
Ma'am,
2/3 of the
Yeah,
neighborhood.
yeah, I have two houses in Bell Point, so I'm very invested in their both on septic. But one's on 194 King Cotton, so it's actually 219 King Cotton and north has sewer. The rest going south does not. So I'm on Crossbrook and I'm on King Cotton, and they're all septic plus the Paradise Marsh.
Right.
And the Indian Mound, that whole
he's so
circle
close
back
to
in there.
Right, understood.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if the board is okay with this, what makes sense is for us to put an estimate together of what it would take to sewer the neighborhood and just reach out and see what kind of interest there is. I mean, it's obviously neighborhood that size, you're talking about a substantial investment to put sewer in.
Yes, sir.
So we'll have to see what kind of interest there is.
What percent of the people do you think would tie on if we?
I couldn't tell you. I know there's a handful of people that are vocal on the Facebook posts in our neighborhood group that I've made who want to stay on septic because they're wherever they are, it drains well for them. But I feel like they're in the minority. I think the majority of the people who are on septic would be interested in tying in.
See, that's the problem that I remember when I was back on it, on here in 2014. We actually went to Bell Point and approached the association. At the time, we were trying to get Bell Point and Marshes of McKay. We could not generate anywhere near enough interest to put a whole sewer system in there.
I know one of the heads of the HOA is one of the people who, for whatever reason, is adamantly against it. Even though it has no effect on him, he's on septic. His septic works great, and I think that's great for him. But speaking with the HOA, I think you're not going to get a great idea of the people who would be interested. So, I'd be happy to canvass the neighborhood for you and go literally door to door and get a number of people who would be interested in tying in. But for whatever reason, this person is adamantly against it, even though, I've explained to him that obviously it has no impact on him. If you guys decide to put sewer in, it doesn't cost anybody any money to have sewer put in. It costs money if you want to tie into it. And I think there's some confusion there. I think that some people.
We'll put together something and we'll
Yeah,
canvass the
because for you
neighborhood.
to do a canvas to get interest, everybody's gonna ask how much to tie in.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
we would have to
We'll
put
send
together
those.
something that would
So-
give the neighbors
Right, Ms.
some
Adina, if
idea
you
of what
could just
what
make sure
tying
we
cost
have
would be.
both individuals' contact info. We'll put some estimates together for y'all to work from as far as talking with the rest of the neighborhood. And then on our end, we'll look at an estimate for sewering in
And-
different areas and what would help us out a lot. I mean, obviously, depending on where you're at in the neighborhood, your system may drain better or worse depending on where the water goes. So if we could get addresses that are interested, there may be areas that make sense to sewer a certain area because of the amount of interest on, say, one or two streets versus the whole neighborhood.
Yes, sir, that makes sense. And yeah, please reach out to me. Let me know. Like I said, I'm so like desperate at this point.
We understand, and you did real well on your presentation.
You did.
Thank you.
Thank you very
Yeah,
much.
if I can go door to door, if that would help, I will go door to door and ask everyone. I know that the only fee that people would incur would be the tie-in fee. Is that correct?
Yes,
The
that's
city would pay for the installation of sewer, and then if people wanted to tie in, they would pay the tie-in fee.
If the project works out, yes, sir. That's correct.
And a rough estimate I think Mr. Ransom gave me was around $2,000.
Yeah, 20, yeah, something like that. That's in the ballpark. Yeah.
I'd pay 10 times that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
all of this will be presented
Yeah.
when we start the canvassing, so.
Yeah, when we do that, and then certainly once we get everything together and y'all have interest, we can come out and do one of your HOA meetings or something and discuss with everybody.
yeah,
Okay.
that'd be great. And then, I can make a neighborhood Facebook post and let everybody know, as many people that could show up to that meeting as possible would be awesome. Sometimes it's hard with Facebook. I don't know that a lot of people are super active in the Facebook group, so
Right.
that would be a situation where I would go door to door
Right.
and let people know that we're gonna have a meeting, so that
Are most of the septic tanks along there in the front yard?
I
No.
couldn't tell you.
Mine are both in the backyard.
Yeah.
I've done new drain pipes just to run it to the front yard, and it's still an issue.
Yeah, obviously, we'll have to look at that as far as design.
Yeah, yeah.
That plays in as well. Obviously,
Yeah,
we want to put the line where the tanks are already draining to, so you don't have to relay everything out to
Yeah.
from the
I
house.
mean, that would be certainly part of it, and
Right.
then alternate systems
Right.
that might
Might
fit
work.
that neighborhood.
Sure,
That's
absolutely.
been on septic. All right, thank you.
Thank you
Yeah.
very much.
In the interim, I'd get a contractor out there and just have a discussion about a mound system.
I honestly don't know the difference between.
You can have engineered septic systems where they put a mounded system above ground. It does add to the cost of replacing the septic pretty substantially.
Yeah, I was quoted to, the guy who's been taking care of my septic system, because we thought that our septic system was the problem. He's serviced it twice. It has been fully cleaned and flushed and everything like that, and our septic system isn't the issue. But he did quote me. I asked about replacing the lines out in the leach field, and he said that would be at least an $8,000 job to replace the leach field. But he said that that's not the problem that we're having. It's just that it gets saturated with any amount of rain, and it just backs up.
And we've got his address.
All right.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you guys
Thank you all very
I
much.
appreciate your time.
Okay.
Tell Doug I said hello.
He's got back from Peru.
All right, great,
He's still resting.
yeah.
Thank you, John.
Thank you. Next item is approval section minutes from the July 16th, 2025 Facilities Committee meeting. Can I have a motion?
I make a motion that we accept the meeting minutes from the
second.
previous meeting.
Second.
Motion second, all in favor? Motion carries 3-0. Next item is comprehensive agreement, Glenn New Hope, 1043 LLC. Mr. Burris.
All right. So Glenn New Hope is 1043 is a development at the New Hope Plantation property. And I'm trying to get there. Thought this was supposed to go faster. Okay, so New Hope Plantation is out here. They have the plans for a residential and potential long-term care facility out there. This agreement is for the looping of a water main. They will be required for the development purposes to bring a water main down New Hope Drive, up Highway 17 to Shell Road for water service to the property, as well as the sewer force main from a pump station on site to pump station 4118. However, given the length of that very long run and the desire to increase water availability in the area, we approached New Hope about running a water main from New Hope Drive down to Harry Driggers to provide a loop in the North Mainland District. There are multiple pieces of property along the way that have shown interest in development should water and sewer become available. They The developer has agreed to this. The agreement would be for the construction of the 12-inch water main down to Harry Driggers. The part to the north, is not part of the agreement, just the part to the south here. And they would get capital fee credit for on-site usage in the amount of the value of the water line. That line has been designed. Is that correct?
Yes.
I think design is essentially complete on the south end. It may be fully complete.
And it's outside the right of way?
It's in the right of
It'd
way.
be in the GDOT right away. It'd be in the DOT.
DOT approved it?
They've discussed with DOT, they got to file for the actual permit request. If you recall, on the north end, we did an agreement or requested for this piece of property right here to get an easement for installation of the water and sewer line across the Hoffel Broadfield property. So this is the continuation of that all the way down. And GDOT has been in communication with the developer along the way. They will get credit on site for the use of capital fees, and should their cost exceed the capital fees, they would get a 70% payback on capital fees that utilize the new line until they get their credit back, or 10 years, I believe is what it says. Charlie, is that correct?
I think that's right.
And one thing to note, this one will be done where they provide us with biddable documents, and then we procure services, at which point they will manage construction upon completion of the bid pricing. That way, the publicly bid number is the amount they get for credit for the services. And then GIS will provide a 12-inch water loop with fire protection along the way from Harry Driggers, following the completion of the work that's required for their development, all the way to Shell Road on Highway 99. So this will open up water availability for the entirety of northeast Glynn County, south of the new roundabout at 99.
I got a couple of questions. What are they gonna do with the existing oxidation pond they got there?
As far as I know, those will be discontinued and just use the existing pump station on site. There's a pump station on site now that flow drains to, and they will use that existing pump station with perhaps some upgrades that are necessary for that pump station to pump the distance that's required.
EPD's gonna be pretty, I mean, they want those ponds to be eliminated,
Yes, sir. I think they'll be very excited for that opportunity. Yes, sir.
but there's New Hope people gonna do it?
Yes, that will be the responsibility of the developer. Yes, sir.
That's not included in this?
Not included in this, no, sir. The agreement is solely for the 12-inch water main from New Hope down to Driggers.
Okay. I just don't want that to be an issue, future issue for us to have to work on those ponds.
Yes, sir. Understood. There's an on-site treatment system that with the existing small wells and gravity system out there, they go to an oxidation pond that would be, once they get onto our system, obviously would be no longer in use, so they would have to decommission
It
those.
has zero flow right now too, so,
Yes, sir.
but anyway. Okay. Can I have a motion?
Yes, sir. I move that the Facilities Committee recommend entering into a comprehensive agreement with Glenn New Hope 1043 LLC for the construction of loop water system improvements along Highway 17 North.
I second.
Motion second. Any other questions?
I didn't have that.
And I believe, this has the potential to go a long way on expanding water and sewer for Glynn County, and joint water and sewer, so I hope he'll be successful in.
We have seen design plans for, or preliminary plat at least, for neighborhoods along 17 already. So this would certainly be a useful thing to allow connections to those and allow looping from these neighborhoods back to 17 to Harry Driggers. There's a lot of advantages to this line going in.
Is the ultimate plan to have water line on each side?
No, sir, it will just be on the west side of 17. And if we need to go underneath to service neighborhoods, we'll just have to go through GDOT permitting to jack and bore 17 at that point.
Because we couldn't do it the easy way.
Right.
That would be able to put services across the street.
Sir?
Would we want to be putting any services across the 4-lane?
Not at this point because of, I'll say, I don't think that the developer's gonna be keen on throwing that cost in there at this point.
Complicators the widening of 17 right now.
Yeah.
They were not really conducive to allowing.
Crossings, yeah, we,
We tried.
when they were widening 17s, we did approach the contractor on that job about potentially installing casings while they were doing the widening so that we wouldn't have to do the full jack and bore. There was not a tremendous amount of appetite for installing those casings at that time.
And I missed it. Is it coming down the east side?
The west side of
The
17.
west side.
West
which
side
is
of 17.
Favorable for most new development.
All that off of
would come.
Driggers back there, yes,
Yeah,
sir.
all right.
Yes, sir. And because obviously these two parcels here, these two large parcels here are state property. So those are, you can kind of take those off the list, but so you're looking at the rest of it, it's this area down here. Now, I will say as part of a agreement between the developer and the state, they will be providing fire service, installing a fire connection for Hoffel Broadfield Plantation as part of their project off of the new line that's going in.
That came a couple of months ago.
Yeah, that was a portion of the work that was required for the easement acquisition from the state.
Is any work gonna be down there by the new roundabout?
Right here, there'll be water right through here on the side of it, yes, sir.
Okay. But-
Water and force main, yeah. Both the water and the sewer will be on the west side of the road.
Any other questions? All in favor? Motion carries 3-0. Thank you.
Thank you. So, I'm getting click happy.
Next item is contract award Arco area sewer connections. Mr. Burns?
Yes, sir. As you are well aware, we have installed sewer in the Arco neighborhood. The sewer is all installed and punch list, I believe, is fully complete in there, Mr. Klein.
Yes.
It's, we're waiting on record drawings from our engineer. But we received a EPD, Section 319H grant to, provide the ability for sewer connections in the area. The grant funding amount is $445,349 with a local required match of $297,000, which can be from in-kind services. We released bids to get connections tied in out there. We had 2 bids received at the end of July. The low bidder is J.H. Stone Construction. Based off the connection cost of $4,656 per connection, grant funding will allow us to generate 96 connections from septic to sewer. The owner would have to pay the capital fees for the connection. However, those can be financed for a period, so there is no upfront cost. It can be added as a monthly charge on your bill. And so this will allow 96 homes, or not necessarily always homes, but preferably homes, to be tied into the sewer system and utilize the new services. J.H. Stone Construction, we've met with them. What they've requested is that upon, if this is awarded and we move forward, what they would like to do is get groups of 25 at a time so they can go out there and hit them at a bunch. So what we'll do is we'll hold a public meeting, gauge interest, and see if we can get enough people signed in, and we'll release 25 at a time, preferably also if we could get a bunch of them on one street so they could be in one area, and we'll release them in that regard. But right now, the plan is for the 96 to be first come, first serve on the connections. So as far as our funding match, it can be in kind, so we're doing personnel time for the administrative time necessary to produce the work. We're also going to be doing some sampling to prove that the project is reducing non-point source solution in the area. We will be using our vac trucks to actually dispose of the septic tank material that is left in the tank. The contractor will be decommissioning the tank, but we'll be disposing of the sewer that is in there. And then Glynn County Public Health has agreed to waive their septic tank decommissioning inspection fees to help with the match as well.
So this is gonna be first come, first serve, regardless of who and what you are?
Well, that would be ultimately up to the board if they would like to put a different policy in place.
I'm just kind of afraid that all these
Can you pull up a map of Arco?
renters are gonna, the owners aren't the people who own the house. It's all renters.
A lot of ARCO is rentals. We have been compiling a list of we don't know for sure what appears to be owner occupied versus rental. But,
That's what I was trying to say.
yeah. So this is Arco area here. So the project, if you recall, was essentially from Fifth Street north to Knight Avenue, from 341 to Whitlock, or the railroad tracks beside Whitlock, I guess is a better way of saying that. So this, let me turn the water lines off so it's not so crowded. Essentially, these orange lines here, the reason these are still orange is because we're waiting on the record drawings, but that is active sewer. So all these orange lines here and the grant funding is required to be used in this area. So
How many people have tied on?
a dozen or so far, something in that neighborhood.
Yeah, no more than that.
We got a half dozen or so on Brunswick-Glynn side and about a dozen in Arco thus far. But obviously, if they could get the connections done without having to come out of cash up front, I don't think we'll have any problems getting people connected out there. And we'll certainly work with,
This won't apply to Brunswick Village.
this will not, this is strictly for the area at Arco.
We'll be able to apply for one for
We
Brunswick.
can apply for future funds, assuming this goes smoothly, for other areas as this comes about. Yes, sir. We would actually love this to be a rolling program we have as we do expand our sewer system to these previously unserved areas. Like I said, we'll hold, if this is approved and move forward, we get contract signed with J.H. Stone, we will hold a meeting in the area to gauge interest. Mr. Stone will be there as well, so that we can make sure everybody knows the contractor and, we don't have people misrepresenting the situation out there. And then we'll try to get them signed up at that point. And if we'll like to have paperwork and have the ability while we're there, if they want to go ahead and sign up for the financing of the capital fees while at that public meeting, we'll go ahead and get them taken care of that. So all they have to do is sign the documents and we'll take care of it and notify them when we're going to come out and decommission their septic tank.
Do some of those people have problems like the Bell Point
A
area?
lot of those folks have problems like Bell Point, yes, sir.
But some of them don't?
Well, I haven't spoke to everyone out there. I know that if you walk those back alleyways, your feet will squish.
Okay, so it'd be hard to prioritize just them.
Yeah, they're not necessarily a prioritizing thing here as much as the whole areas of need.
So what, on the financing option for them, are we looking at, they don't have to have a credit check to
No.
get the financing, but are we looking at how well they have paid their bill, staying current with their water bill? Has that been a criteria?
That has not been a criteria for adding in there yet. Obviously, we do have people that have increased deposit amounts due to failed payment histories.
Yeah.
And we could look at increasing the deposit amount a little bit more as well to help
And
with
I'm
that.
not, I'm
Yeah.
not saying we necessarily want to, I'm
Yeah.
just saying it's.
It's certainly a
it's something
consideration.
that we need to, if they're not paying the water bill, they're not gonna pay the fine,
Right. I think the math on, I don't remember the exact dollar value. I think the math on the current financing rates, if you finance it for the longest period, is like $12 a month for 7 years to get that paid off. Very reasonable for them to get on the system versus a lot of these folks are telling us they're having to have their septic tank pumped every 2 to 3 months.
Yeah.
And-
Which is.
That's a couple, $250, $300 every 3 months. So, I mean, they'll come out ahead.
All for helping all
Yeah.
we can.
Yeah, that's-
Absolutely.
And I know Commissioner Neal from your county side, Commissioner Booker has been very much in favor of this project for a while, so we'll also get him involved with the public meeting as well, because I know
That would be fantastic.
he would get, he could certainly increase our participation on the project.
All right.
Have a motion?
I'll make a motion. I move that the Facilities Committee recommend awarding a contract to J.H. Stone Construction, Inc. with the not-to-exceed amount of $445,349 for the Arco Area Sewer Connections Project.
I'll second.
I will make a note, the reason that is not to exceed is because we do not have anybody that's agreed to tie on yet. I suspect all of that money will be spent, but we didn't want to agree with the contract to pay him $445,000 if we didn't get 96 people signed up.
Right.
All right, so let's go back to my question.
Yes.
If you look at his bid,
Mm-hmm.
why does his number not go down over the multiple?
Sir, not 100% sure why that was. Our intention, or intention is a poor choice of words. Our,
I have never seen that if you give a contractor 25, 75, and then
Yeah.
100, that his number goes up with the number. If you look at the other bid, he starts high and then goes down if you give him multiple instances.
yeah. So I think that, not sure what his business model is. Ultimately, that is the lower bid, and so, we are constantly confused by the way people bid projects, so.
Have you asked him that question?
I did not ask him that question, but we can certainly ask him.
So if he only puts in 25 connections, it's cheaper.
Yes, if he only does 25 total, then it's cheaper, that's correct.
All right, so let's give him 25 and stop it, and then start it again for another 25. That makes no sense.
Well, I think if you look at this 3956 plus this 700 is 4656. I think the number is 4656 regardless of the amount of connections you do. But I will say Mr. Stone has done a tremendous amount of work in this area already, so he is very familiar with working in these areas, so I think he'll be a good selection for this project.
Did he work as a sub on the main contract?
He worked as a sub on the Brunswick-Glynn contract.
Okay.
Put in the water lines out there, right? Or was it the sewer? Just the water he did out there, yes.
Are there any other questions?
No.
Hearing none, all in favor? Motion carries 3-0. Thank you. Next item is the pump station transfer switch design services.
Yes, sir. This is the third of the hazard mitigation grant funding that we have received from the Georgia EMA. And this is to purchase 5 portable generators and 67 automatic transfer switches with quick connect boxes with the cam lock connections. Total approved cost is $1.8 million, with JWSC share being $455,170.50. We have already installed 10 of these, and with the funding provided under the FEMA program as well. And so we approved what is known as the recipient-subrecipient agreement on January 16th. This is a design contract with Chatham Engineering, who did the design on the first phase, which will be sizing and layout for the new 67 transfer switches, to include site visits for each one of them to confirm details. It'll be about a week of site work for them to be out there to go to all these locations, and then they will also perform construction inspection for us as well. Total cost for Chatham Engineering is $46,100 to complete this work. The proposal is attached there to bidding assistance and construction administration for this. And they've allowed for 5 trips here, so they'll be able to do them in smaller batches of 15 to 20 at a time.
Mr. Chairman, I move that the Facilities Committee recommend approving a contract with Chatham Engineering in the amount of $46,100 for design and construction administration services associated with HMGP 4400-0033.
Second.
Motion second. Are there any questions?
I will say the 10 that we have on site, having helped hook generators up, when we get these inside, it takes longer to back the generator into the actual lift station than it does to hook them up. So it cuts about an hour off of the process having these in there for every one of them. And so if you think over a 3 or 4 day period, that is a substantial amount of savings during a storm event.
Repays us.
It
pretty
repays
quickly.
us very quickly when we do that.
I have one question. Do we have a time period that we have to get this done?
There is on the FEMA, but do you remember the date on this one?
May of 26.
No, that's the other one.
I'm sorry, I
May of 26 is the generator install. We'll get you that date.
Well, we want to make sure, because if the engineer takes too long to get it done,
Yes, sir.
that could be a problem.
Yes, sir.
But y'all feel comfortable, we got plenty of time.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Any other questions? Hearing not, all in favor? Motion carries 3-0. Thank you, Andrew.
Yes, sir.
Next item is Newcastle Street manhole rehab.
Yes, sir. All right, I'm trying to get here on the map. 4001, where are you at? That's 4002, ain't got far enough south yet. There we go. Okay, this manhole right here. This one right here in the middle of Newcastle. In fact, it's in the turning lane in the middle of Newcastle Street. As you can see, receives all of the flow from the north that comes into pump station 4001. This manhole has had significant deterioration, and the both influent and effluent line from the manhole have collapsed as a result. It is currently plated down there in the turning lane. This is a contract to rehab that manhole and install short liners into the, basically hydraulically jack the lines back up and then put a short liner in to seal those connections back off. We were able to get 2 quotes for this. And as you see, the quotes are very close between Atlantic Pipe and Bionomics. I will note, if you read through the proposals, Atlantic Pipe's quote does not contain any traffic control for doing this work, and that would be an additional charge. And it includes 50 gallons of grout. With the amount of soil that it seems to have been siphoned away down there, that may not be sufficient amount of grout. Bionomics includes both traffic control and 70 gallons of grout. At $500 a gallon for additional grout, the difference in total original cost is $428.68. Staff's recommendation is to move forward with Bionomics as it is a better value. We will not be charged for the full 70 gallons of grout if we don't use it. So if we only use the 50 gallons of grout, it will come in less than $49,200. So the request, and you can look at the proposals that are attached. Atlantic Pipe actually has 2 separate proposals that were added together because it's a different business unit for them that does the lining versus the manhole rehab work. But Bionomics is included as one proposal. So recommendation is to award this contract to Bionomics Services. They have done extensive work for us in the past, and this is a very key location for us, and we are getting substantial I&I in through that manhole at this point.
They did all of the work on when we were.
4002, yes, sir. And they've done an extensive amount of manhole rehab work for us as well.
We used to have a annual contract with them.
We did, yes, sir.
Did we stop having that?
We haven't had in the last couple of years. We need to get back on that, yes, sir,
Okay.
for manhole rehab.
All right.
Have a motion?
I move that Facilities Committee recommend approving a contract with Bionomic Services in the amount of $49,200 for the repair of manhole 4001 and the 2 gravity lines connected to this manhole.
I second.
Motion second. Any other questions? Being none, all in favor? Motion carries 3-0. Thank you. Next item is Dunbar Creek Water Pollution Control Rehab, Mr. Burris.
Yes, sir. This is it is a change order to the Dunbar Creek rehab contract, but is not a change order in the traditional sense. We had a gravity line between the mechanical bar screen and the grit removal system. There's a bar screen. It goes in the ground for a very short period.
Can I interrupt you? Can you pull that drawing up so we can see what we're talking about? Picture of it or something like that?
Let me see what I can track down here. Well, let's try the other one. Okay, who knows? That's not what I need.
If you can't find that, can you just Google it so we can see where it is in the plant
Yes, sir. So,
and zone in on that a little bit?
yes, sir. All right. So right here, let me zoom in here.
Focus it there when you zoom in.
This is updated last year during construction. So, the mechanical bar screens are right here. It's a channel that comes in. There's a short gap before he gets to another concrete structure that it holds the grit system and the influent partial flume. The line collapsed between the bar screen and the grit system in the concrete, and the concrete was severely deteriorated. When this happened, BRW was already on site working at the plant, and we were able to put the flow. There's an old manual bar screen. It is as exciting as it sounds. The flow goes through a manual bar screen. Somebody sits out there all night with a rake as it gets clogged up and pulls the debris off of the bar screen and throws it away. So we did that for 4 to 6 weeks while we were getting this done. They also installed bypass pumps out of this upstream structure for high flow situations. And what we were able to do is they came in, BRW was able to come in, and they say gives you a better idea here. They removed all the existing equipment, removed all the slabs necessary to get down to it, installed a new 30-inch concrete reinforced flume inside with 316 stainless inside of the flume, recoated the entire grit structure with an epoxy coating to protect the concrete and with the Raven high build epoxy, and then replaced all the equipment, put the things back in service. And of course, the bypass pumping, even though it was not running for the extended period of the time because it was all going through the manual except for high flow, it was rented equipment for the duration of the project. They have their timesheets here as according with the design build contract and the markups as necessary. The total cost for the work was $393,090.39. And so this will technically be change order number 7 to the contract. It was not planned in the contract, obviously, as a change order, but this was for emergency repairs. And I will note, it is doing wonderfully now.
Can I have a motion?
I move that the Facilities Committee recommend approving change order number 7 in the amount of $393,090.39 to BRW Construction Group for emergency repairs associated with the Dunbar Creek Rehab Project.
Second.
Are there any questions? I have one. Andrew, what else do we need to do that headworks to make sure we don't have backups in the neighborhood?
At this point, I don't think that, well, there's no reason we should have backups in the neighborhood right now. All the influent pumps have been replaced, all the VFDs have been replaced. We're working on an additional fail-safe for if the VFDs or the SCADA was to go out, it will run on floats, and that's being put in now. So we've got, never say never, but we've got 4 or 5 different fail-safes in place now to hopefully prevent that from occurring. And we have now replaced the 30-inch influent line from the splitter box, the influent wet wells all the way back through the headworks. So that's all new line now because all of them have collapsed in the last 3 years. And we do need to look at lining the section of pipe from Sea Island Road into the plant. That may be a project we need to do in the very near future.
Well, that line will be smoke tested, won't it?
That line will be smoke tested. Yes, sir, that will be smoke tested. Well, yes, sir, it should be. I don't want to commit. It should be.
It will or it won't.
It will or it won't. My goal is to have it smoke tested.
Any other questions? All in favor? Motion carries 3-0. Thank you.
All right, items 7 and 8, the MOUs with the city of Brunswick. We're going to request that both of those items be deferred to the next meeting. The city has not had an opportunity to, city attorney did not get an opportunity to approve the MOUs prior to this meeting, so they need to be deferred until the September meeting. Hopefully. Now, these are both for engineering, us to join with their existing contracts for work they have ongoing for improvements. We'll go through the specifics. Bay Street, they're putting a new roundabout in. We need to redo some water lines down there in that area. And then Howard Coffin Park, they're doing a drainage ditch improvement behind Howard Coffin. If you've been out there, you know that's a necessary thing to do. There's a significant erosion of the ditch line out there. We have 3 lines across that ditch that are now spanning longer distances than they were originally intended to span. So while they're in there doing that, we want to take care of those ditch crossings as well. So if y'all don't mind deferring this to the next meeting, we'll have these for you in September.
Do we need to make a motion to defer it?
Mr. Chairman, I move that we defer items 7 and 8 to the next meeting of the joint
I'll
water and
second.
sewer facilities.
Motion and second, all in favor. Motion carries 3-0. Infrastructure dedications and conveyance of easements. Todd?
All right, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, good morning.
Don't get to say that too often at these meetings.
All right. These are pretty typical easement and infrastructure dedications. I'll go through them fairly quickly. It's only 2 items here. First one is a result of private development in Woodland Cove subdivision. This is actually Phase 2. This is the very north end of the Golden Isles Parkway extension. Show very quickly where this is. We go a little bit to the south, State Route 99 and Golden Isles Parkway, across 99 heading north. This is almost to the very end of the roadway at present. Next to our pump station 4134, Woodland Cove subdivision is a residential subdivision, and the infrastructure in orange indicates it is still proposed or under construction, ownership not determined as of yet, and this is the portion we're talking about now. This infrastructure is actually water, about 740 linear feet of 8-inch PVC, and sewer, gravity sewer, almost 660 linear feet of 8-inch gravity sewer and manhole appurtenances. This infrastructure will add about 20 new customers to our rolls.
On the sewer, you need to add in an 8-inch. It does not say.
Yes, sir. Yeah, in our, we will do that. It's listed as, it's not listed as 8-inch on the dedication as well, but it is 8-inch.
And out at that end, we are ready for the school to start construction, and we don't have any.
We're discussing, we do have, there's a lot of proposed developments. We do need to increase the pumps at the one downstream pump station for sure, that shouldn't be that big of a deal. We do have a major job to do along Highway 99 though that will.
And just FYI, DOT is starting the roundabout at the
Yes, sir.
Spur and 99 intersection.
Well, that ought to be fun. Okay.
Yeah, and they're calling it a temporary because long-term plan is to 4-lane 99 from 341 to 17, but this is going in immediately to alleviate that
Okay. Yes.
dangerous traffic that's, we've been asking for a few years now.
All right. No more questions on Woodland Cove. We'll move to the next easement, which is an easement only. Exit 42. A couple meetings ago, we did accept an infrastructure and easement dedication from Buc-ee's. And that was for the on-site or future public right-of-way, Buc-ee's Boulevard. And then a little bit of the easement covered a little bit around our meters that are on their property. The easement we're talking about now is easement to cover us from Buc-ee's property down to our easement that exists over the existing 12-inch gravity sewer that they tie into. So this is from a separate adjacent property owner, Brunswick Highway 99 LLC, and the Buc-ee's team did reach out and facilitate this easement for the Joint Water and Sewer Commission. This covers us legally from Buc-ee's property all the way to our,
So we didn't have the easement before they put that work in?
not until now, if the board chooses to accept this easement, correct.
But the sewer's in.
Sewer is in.
Sewer's in and flowing.
Was that Danny, what's his name's property behind Buc-ee's? That group,
Not sure. State Route 99, or Brunswick Highway 99 LLC. I'm not sure of the,
That's them. So
okay.
they're the ones that work with Buc-ee's to bring Buc-ee's here.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Looking at signature blocks.
Martin McDonald.
I can't, yeah. Mark McDonald is the only one that signed, so.
Huh?
Is that a 20-foot
They came
easement or
in, they were
40-foot?
sort of the front people for
Is
Buc-ee's.
it 40-foot easement or 20-foot easement?
That is, let's see what the documents say here. Temporary L8 is a 80-foot easement.
80-foot easement?
80-foot easement, yeah. So the reason why it's so wide and why it's an easement now is because it'll be eventually a roadway extension. If you've driven out there to the end of the Buc-ee's Boulevard now, it just drops off into the woods. It's very obvious it's intended to continue at some point in the future as a fully paved road, two-lane
And
road.
once it becomes public right of way, we'll abandon the easement at that point.
The public right-of-way would supersede the easement, correct?
Okay. Can I have a
Mr.
motion?
Chairman, I move that the Facilities Committee recommend the full commission approve and accept these requests to accept infrastructure and easement with associated documentation.
I'll second.
Motion is second. Any other questions? Hearing none, all in favor? Motion carries 3-0.
Right. Thank you, Commissioners.
Okay, next is the water system, I guess. Water production report, Mr. Burrs.
Yes, sir. So we had our highest water use month in the past 2 years by a small amount in this last month. July obviously is a very heavy travel month in our region, and we have seen a lot of new connections coming online, and so it's expected that these months will continue to increase. But we pumped just shy of 300 million gallons for the month out of our well site, and that's 9.6 million gallons per day across all three systems. Water loss, metered water loss was about 7% for the month, so that's a pretty good number that we have there. And the AMI system continues to do well. We sent out 31,265 monthly water bills, and 30,874 of them were with AMI, so that is above the 98.5% required number for that. So on the Brunswick system, couple of items to note here. The Howard Coffin well was brought back online following the casing repairs that occurred. If you'll zoom in there for me. So that 16 million is obviously the first usage we've had in several months out there following the casing repair. You'll notice a substantial reduction in Goodyear Park. That is a twofold reason. One, bringing Howard Coffin online helped, but we also lost a well motor out there. That well motor has been replaced and Goodyear Park is back online. So with both Howard Coffin being offline for half the month and Goodyear Park having a motor issue, Brunswick Villa picked up the slack on that, so hopefully that number will drop back down in the prior range going into next month. But the Brunswick system, 5.5 million gallons a day through the Brunswick system, and we, as we'll get to on the project report, we're getting very close to starting up the Canal Road well, which should also help smooth out some of the spikes we see across the area in that regard.
Do we know what the unaccounted for is for that system?
We don't have those numbers exactly. We're updating all of those. We have to take all the meters and keep them updated on the filters that pull that data. And so we're working through that process of tagging them to the individual systems. It's not complicated, but if you have to do it 32,000 times, it takes a minute to go in and do that. But if you look at our graph, it's very similar to where we have been. You see the spikes going up in the summer. It'll be interesting next month to see the report, because as we all know, it has been excessively wet for the last 2.5 weeks. So we'll see how much of that usage has been outdoor usage, because if it is a lot of outdoor usage, we should see a substantial drop in the month of August. St. Simons for the month, 3.6 million gallons a day. For the month of July, as expected, a lot of outdoor usage and a substantial amount of tourism on the island. So definitely can tell when the tourist season begins on St. Simons, the flow does go up beginning in March and April, and then continues to go up until roughly September, October. So we've reached the peak of the water season, but all in all, that system held up pretty well for the month, 112 million gallons for the month at St. Simons Island. And then on the South Mainland District, about 400,000 gallons, not the highest we've had, but certainly one of the higher months we've had on the South Mainland District. And so that system moving along pretty well. I will say, on the taste and odor complaints we did get for the month, most of them were associated on the mainland and St. Simons with the increased usage. We had some dirty water complaints as a result of the increased usage. That does tend to happen. The more usage, the more scouring of the lines, we'll get a few more debris particles that break loose. We have to go flush the system a little bit more.
Move the wastewater now.
Yes, sir. These numbers are going to look very different next month. So the Academy Creek for the month of, all right, we got it. Academy Creek for the month, 6.8 million gallons for the month. And we do have, continue to have the ammonia issues, which we'll talk about when we go through the project report. We're starting to see tremendous progress on that this month following some completion of work on the project. But we got 96% BOD removal and 99% TSS removal. The BOD removal, 96%, not too bad considering the influent BOD was less than 100 coming into the head of the plant. So doing well there. We did have a little bit of reduction in sludge for the month. That was mostly due to improved solids handling, and we also had some slight issues with the belt press, so that number will go back up a little bit more for the month of August, most likely. But like I said, next month's numbers will be higher than that. I think month to date, we're averaging somewhere around 11 MGD at Academy with all the rain we've had. So we have found 2 manhole covers that have been knocked off in the past week and a half, though, so hopefully we're catching a few of these problems out there. One of them was in a ditch that we knew we had a problem when we started finding live snakes in the wet well. They had washed themselves into the wet well in the ditch, so.
Still alive?
Still alive, rocking and rolling. We didn't see them, not sure if they went through the pump or not, but I suspect they did. All right, Dunbar Creek for the month, 3.5 million gallons a day. Plant rocking along very well, 98% BOD, 97% TSS removal. That plant, following the upgrades, is just operating quite effectively out there. So well done by our staff, and certainly appreciative to our contractor for the good work they've done out there in the past couple of years to get that plant back where it needs to be at. Flows are elevated for the month at Dunbar, but not ratio-wise, not near to the level Academy is right now.
What's the status of our permit application to increase the permit?
We got some comments back from EPD that have been routed through the engineer to respond to. And as we'll go through on the project report, pump skids for the chemical treatment system are supposed to be delivered the first week of September. Southport for the month, 600,000 gallons, a little over 600,000 gallons a day. Still got an issue with the influent and effluent not matching up, so staff has been reminded that needs to be corrected. And so, but plant going very well, almost 99% BOD and TSS removal for the month. So very good job by our staff keeping those in line. We do see the growth at exit 29 continues to show up in our system, as well as, of course, the growth at the port with the amount of vehicles that are going through the port. So exit 29 plant doing very well, plenty of room for additional port capacity out there. We're just glad to see that, starting to see that a little bit of an uptick in the exit 29 region.
And everything in the 99 region of the spur to 38 to 42, all that still comes back to Academy.
That comes right now.
And when are we ballpark projection of the new plant coming online? 3 years, 5 years?
3 to 4 years, yes, sir.
Okay.
We ready to see the movie now?
Sir?
The pictures.
We can see the pictures now.
Yep.
Yes, sir.
We like this.
I was waiting for my invite. Yes, sir.
We need some more pictures. We're in the regular meeting too on those
Okay.
stations. if it's affecting something.
All right. Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, again, thank you. This is the capital report, or the picture report, as we affectionately call it. And I will zoom through these, but please do stop me for any questions. Okay, community road area water and sewer extension, or in this case, pressure main extension, did kick off, and that is a good aerial shot of the area to be served, commercial area. Another good shot looking down from Habersham, looking back across the neighborhood. Get some silt fence installed out there. If you've gone out there, in that area, you will see across from Sunbelt area and whatnot, you'll see some pipe stockpiled. And does anybody notice anything particular about the pipe? Right across the plate, Chairman. 8-inch and 6-inch.
That picture is blue on my picture.
Oh,
There's an 8-inch and 6-inch water main pipe there. So we are installing,
Gotta get the tape measure out.
installing 6-inch where it makes sense to install 6-inch. So anyway, sorry, I had to point that out.
what is the cost savings between 6 and 8?
Hardly anything, sir.
Minimal. Exceedingly minimal.
That has been a topic of discussion here in these chambers in the past, so I enjoyed pointing it out. That is UWS is our contractor, and they're moving along out there with the water install. Next project is Canal Road Water Production Facility. Essentially complete, substantial completion inspection and walkthrough has been done. We are just waiting on a few little items to deal with before we get the thing online.
What is it that we're lacking, put it online?
Last thing I was told was there's something on the alarming side for chemical feed. The chemical feed systems are working, but obviously you had to have 24/7 monitoring if you don't, or if somebody's got to stand there the whole time. So we're trying to make sure that the chemical feed alarms are working the way they need to work.
When this is started, we won't have to use the Mycene wells as much?
It should help reduce the load on the Mycene wells, yes, sir. Particularly on Golden Isles 1 out there. That could be turned back.
Well, are they working on the stuff, finishing it?
Yes, sir. Sometimes at the end of projects, it's the most difficult time to complete and getting these things done and complete, but they are working on these.
They will have to re-disinfect
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah, so the storage tank, everything, all the water in there is going to have to be dechlorinated, of course, for our good friends across the street at EPD.
Hadn't paid them everything, no, sir.
Yep.
So we're retaining a large enough retainer to.
Yes.
5%.
Yes, sir.
So I would suggest that the slower it is to wrap up a project, the higher the retainages we require on them,
I think state law limits us of what we can do on retainage to 5% now.
to just 5%.
That's all we can do.
Yeah, it's substantial dollar waiting on a dime out here. So you would think they would, somebody's going to be. Yeah.
Or their next project is cash flowing so much better that they don't want to assign labor to.
Yeah.
We'll talk about their next project here in just a second.
Yes, yes. But great project. I mean, the facility is fantastic. It's going to be a really, really good asset for the joint water and our customers in that area. And in the background, you can see Glynn County is progressing nicely. I understand they were pulling the ditches to final elevations, ditch elevations, bottom elevations this week, so.
Big ditch between our bollards and the road, right?
There is.
A pretty deep ditch.
It's deeper now, but yes, it is significant, and it would take
You had to be doing some
Significant.
serious speed to get across that ditch.
dukes of
Yeah.
hazard effort to get up into our well there, but the bollards are there just in case, so.
What's the speed limit on that road?
As fast as you can go. Or that was mine. I don't. Right now, it's very slow, but it'll be 45.
Yeah.
Not that anybody drives that, given opportunity, but
Should we paint something on that tank? A logo? Is there a logo on it?
There is no logo on the ground storage tank. We don't have logos on any of our current ground storage tanks.
But this one's pretty visible.
Yeah, I think it's quite a beautiful thing there, but
It's a busy road, isn't it, Wayne?
very busy.
I'll supply a picture if you want.
GICA did ask, I told them that we haven't painted anything on the ground storage tanks, but GICA did ask about potentially putting their logo on the tank. Golden Isles College and Career Academy
It's out there, yeah.
is out there off of
Yeah.
Glencoe.
Okay, that's
Glenn-
the trade.
Glenn County might have an interest in the North Glen Park.
Mm-hmm.
Just
So like I said, we've never
thinking
painted
out
anything
loud.
on the ground storage tanks, so we told them that we haven't done that before, but if that's something the board's interested in, we can certainly take a look at that.
This one has high visibility, certain. They're supposed to reroute, traffic one more time, I hope this week, not early next week, getting ready to wrap up the roundabout.
All right, very good, very good. A lot of good stuff happening in that area. Next project to speak of is our group of 3 pump stations. This is a picture of 4002 downtown close to Mansfield Street. So the fencing, everything is around it now. Again, substantial completion is on these 3 pump stations. Looking to close these out very quickly. Pumps down to the bottom, a little extra painting the contractor did.
If I could add, the asphalt repair that they did out at Altama connection on that one is as smooth as any I've ever seen.
Very good.
Looks very good.
Very good. Here at 44 is the paving on the connector.
Yeah.
Very good. Thank you, sir, for saying that. I will pass that along. 4044, formerly known as Payless Pump Station, maybe always known as Payless Pump Station, is, again, substantially complete. Looking to final that out and get the final payment made on this one. Very good project. Dunbar Creek.
Excuse me. Yeah, so Dunbar Creek, there's an overview there. If you go down to the next page, you can see the new chemical feed tanks, sorry, next picture,
Yep.
my apologies. Those tanks have been installed. We're waiting on the pump skids to actually pump that material. The lines have been installed, so the pump skid is supposed to be delivered the first week of September. So if all goes smoothly, we should be, from a construction standpoint, wrapped up by the end of September on that project. So you can see there, we've got the new clarifier online to the far top of the page there, which the far north, the one in the middle has been taken off, so we can do some work on that. So again, plant's operating very effectively with the new changes, and having that third clarifier not only improves our ability during high flow, but allows us to actually take those other 2 clarifiers down one at a time and do some work on them, which has been needed for years. So
How often do we go pressure wash our tanks? I know we did it a few years ago.
there's no current schedule, but it is something that we need to work on. Yes, sir.
All right. This is pump station 4001 of the group of 3 up against the backside of Logistech in the port. And
I will say, if you look at that inflow picture on the bottom,
there we go.
that influent line there is the one that comes from that manhole that we recommended rehabbing today. And you can see there is not a lot of color to that
That's
water
fairly
coming
clear
in
water,
there.
isn't it? Yeah.
And clear water is not typically something we like seeing coming in those pump stations.
Clear and constant.
Yeah.
All right. The project itself didn't have anything, did not include in the scope any improvements to the gravity lines or anything like that. So primarily had been downscoped to electrical per the master plan's indications of need. All right. Highway 17 North Pump Station, again, another one we're closing out, substantial completion inspection complete, and that is an overview shot of that. You can also see a good section of our neighbor to the east, the US 17 widening project. Looks like they got some tackifier down in the ditches for erosion control purposes, I'm sure, bleeding off their road.
We're not close to the right of way there, are we?
But we're on the other. There's a good ditch between us and the right of way, but actually, right of way is here.
Yeah.
Right of way line. Yeah, it's about all the disturbed area you see there is DOT right of way. Another good picture looking to the north.
And that's a pump station that we designed, right?
That's correct, sir.
And it works.
It works? Of course it does.
Have heard no complaints on the station thus far, sir.
It looks really good.
Thank you. We'll pass that along to the
That's a
team.
big improvement for that neighborhood.
Can we still call it the chicken coop?
You can call it whatever you want to, sir.
Version 2? All right, the chicken palace. We'll call it chicken palace.
Todd, you can do a talk at JWP about replacing pump stations.
About what now?
Replacing pump stations.
Replacing pump stations?
Show the before and after.
Before, yeah, I think we did a pretty good job on this one. All right, pump station 3101, the three of the group of three, or the third of the group of three right there. Good shot of the new panel array. Looking down here, looking back to the north from that site. The RV park is in the background over here. The cable that was formerly draped across is gone. I think that's probably one of the greatest achievements of this rehab was getting that cable out of there. It took a lot of effort.
It took a lot of effort, and it was a particular, for one of our staff members, it was a particular
Yeah.
point of emphasis to get that cable removed.
Yeah. So team did a great job on that. All right, and I believe they actually have a little odor control down here now, don't they?
We got a little bubbler installed down there. Generates, creates some air bubbles in the tank, and so what that does is keep the system oxygenated, and so it helps eliminate odors on site. So we're starting to put those in a lot more locations. Also, not a huge situation here, but if you do have stations with grease issues, keeping it churned up keeps that grease from solidifying on top of the wet well. Pretty low cost installs and saves a lot of maintenance headaches down the road.
How many stations on St. Simon's do we have that on?
I'll have to get the number 6 or 8 right now, but we just ordered about 20 more, so I don't know.
Wizard or something?
Some of them are the Wizard, some of them are it may not that exact name brand, but a very similar type approach.
All right, very good. Academy Creek.
Academy Creek here, good overview there. You can see a lot of the work going on the back side of the plant. You see where the disturbed areas are at. Second picture there is our Director of Wastewater, Mr. Kirk Young, talking with Project Superintendent Mr. Alvin Young, no relation. They're talking about repairing some of the damaged concrete that was torn up as a result of the project. So what we need to do there, they were making progress on that, and they have since abandoned that job given the rain we've had and went on to other things until it stops raining so they can actually get in there and start forming where they need to. But these pictures are a little bit dated. I say a little bit, about a week old, but there's a lot more work now. You see them constructing the new parallel outfall line and head wall there, subcontractor for Reeves Young. And that bottom picture there is the new parallel outfall line in service. There's a new handrail that's been put up there so nobody walks down there and accidentally goes over the top. But that is a new parallel outfall line that will improve flows through the plant at high flow, as well as prevent exceedingly 100-year flood flows backing up through the plant into the new UV system. So that is online and is being well oxygenated if you go down there at low tide.
Old double barrel now.
The double barrel down there now. So
Sorry.
come on down to the next photo. That's looking back towards upstream of the process in the UV system. You can see the new serpentine weirs that are installed at the end of the system there below those gratings. We ended up doing solid grading over the UV channels to prevent algae growth in that area, in the areas that are exposed. And so that's both safer for us and prevents problems with the UV system as a result. They are actively installing UV bulbs now. We have 108 light bulbs to install out there and pulling the connector cables. The hope is that those installations will be complete by the end of August. We are pushing our vendor to provide startup as soon as installation is completed. They still have to install the weir plates, bulbs, finish all the electrical connections. Lighting has been completed under the structure, so that will be well lit. It has not been powered up yet, but the lights have been installed. You see them working on the gates there. On the back of those pictures, you may see some small actuators on those gates. There's 3 of them that run into the 3 UV channels. Those definitely need to be actuated because it takes about an hour to raise one about 6 inches right now. So we're getting those powered up so they can be actuated at this point. Gear ratio is very, very low. So But the exciting news, if you come on down, all of the new RAS pumps are installed and functional. So the work in the RAS stations have been complete as far as the actual piping and pump replacement, electrical work. What we have to do now, they've got to go in and pressure wash, and they're going to paint the downstairs area in the RAS stations. Our RAS flows are approximately triple of what they were before. We're having much better control of our blankets as a result. And through 1.5 sludge ages since the new pumps have been online, we've seen the ammonia at the plant drop in half of where it was at. So we are
Can you
making.
explain what a blanket is?
A blanket, if you go into a clarifier, flow goes into a center of a clarifier and then goes out from the center in a circle. And as it goes out, the velocity slows down until sludge settles out. A sludge blanket is the depth of solids that is sitting at the bottom of that clarifier. The longer it sits in the bottom of the clarifier, it loses oxygen. The thicker the blanket gets, and you will get anaerobic material down there, which is not great to send back through your oxygenated process as part of your RAS. So now we've got better control over those blanket depths, which is great for both high flow events. When high flow comes in, it can push solids out if you're carrying too many, but we're also sending much higher oxygenated material back, so we're reducing the oxygen load on the plant as well. So those new pumps are doing very effectively. We went through a pretty extensive training with the operations staff last Tuesday, gave them a chance to lay their hands on the equipment, ask questions, things like that. So very excited to see the improvements down there, and then continue to see those numbers drop as we go through the different sludge ages. So sludge age is how long you hold sludge on site. So takes about 10 days for all the sludge to actually make its way through the plant. So doesn't sound like that, but since you send it back through, we hold about 10 days worth of sludge.
Very good, very good. Brunswick Villa area, sewer extension there. Just one road left to pave as of a day or so ago.
That was the note I got this morning from Mr. Patel.
Yeah. So this project's rocking to a close.
And like I said, indicated earlier, Mr. Patel indicated we had a half dozen or so that have already tied into the new system out there.
So some of the lines already in service.
All of the lines technically are able for service right now, I believe. We're just doing paving.
Okay. And we have a clean out at each house?
Yes, we stubbed out at every
Just
one.
stubbed out.
Stub out with a lower. Do we install a lower?
No, it's stubbed out. The lowers will be installed when they tie in.
Okay.
All righty. Last couple shots of the pictures of the streets there. Exit 29, Division 1, which is our water production facility, utilized an existing well down there. This is the ground storage tank, which looks a lot different than this presently. That's just the base going in with all the piping and such. Scaffolding going up. Got their crawler that goes around so they can work on it. You can see all these stacks of tin get stacked in place, and those are basically it's self-contained form for the concrete. They'll go in there. It's like a big Campbell soup can. It's our Petticoat Schmidt contractor sitting there talking. Shot from down, or from above, looking downwards. With the scaffold and all that. And if you got there today, you will see how fast stuff happens. And when stuff happens, it seems to happen really fast. Concrete all the way around, so you'll, on the inside. There's our Thomas & Hutton representative on site, Tyler Davidic. Division 2 of this project, Exit 29, is our elevated storage. Oh, I'm sorry, X42, excuse me, I'm jumping ahead. Exit 42 storage tank, that's up there, X42. Hill Point warehouse in the background, and, or excuse me, wait, backwards. Yeah, Hill Point in the background, and then Amazon up front in the
Where's
foreground.
the tank site?
Tank site is, see that web pack?
Yeah. The pond.
Yeah, unfortunately, this is our tank site. It's, a lot of water runoff and whatnot, that's getting cleaned up, drained out right now. But,
But is all that cleared area, the white area in there, kind of white?
correct, sir. Chairman, yeah, it's essentially.
Okay.
Yeah, for our tank there.
So it'll be very visible.
Absolutely, it is going to be visible. Very visible. another
My
good.
understanding is the subcontractor has mobilized.
I hadn't gotten confirmation of that yet, but we were told from our project manager that they were going to mobilize yesterday. Now, Pelley is their site civil subcontractor, and they have had equipment on site, and they have been on site, and they actually built the roadway, their access road, to the site using the nice construction easement our neighbors to the west provided us, or southwest.
And we are de-scoping some valve installs from the contract and installing them ourselves to avoid customer issues. Contract.
Mr. Burrs indicates, so we have an existing 12-inch main and then also a gravity main running through a 30-foot easement that comes through here, right by our tank site. Our tank is gonna connect right into that 12-inch main. That's how it's gonna feed our system, or service our system. So as part of our tank contractor's contract was to install a T and 3 valves there. The Amazon site here, Project Bruin, is connecting here, and they have, their services are connected to that same 12-inch main here. Once they're connected, we don't want to take them and put them back out of service. So unfortunately, with timing, our tank contractor hasn't been able to get this T cut in yet. So our in-house services, our water distribution team is going to go ahead and proactively do that so that we don't have to then take our Amazon customer out of service once they're tied in. So sometimes we have to do that. Sometimes timing doesn't work out, and we have the ability, capability, and materials to do it. So we're doing that, and we're de-scoping that out of the Phoenix tank contract. All right, we hope to see some action happening there. We're supposed to have some Arcast pile material delivered last week. I think the rain probably delayed them a little bit. Obviously, it would be good to stage that in the mud. So they're out there doing a little site reparation. Okay, now we're talking about Division 2, our Exit 29 elevated storage tank. That's clearing going on the tank side itself. Tree trimming and whatnot for the access road and around the tank site. More good pictures of tree clearing. It's looking really good back in there. A little mulching activity going on. Again, our Thompson Hutton folks on site monitoring construction observations. That's the view of the access road from Southport Parkway. If you drive down through there, they improved it to their needs and made quite an improvement. Of course, Joint Water will benefit from that as well.
Oh, we're paying for it.
Once they're, yeah, we're paying. Even though it may not have been a scope of work, but yeah, we're paying for
I
it.
know drainage was marginal going back through there already, so that's being taken care of as well, and not making it any worse, I trust.
Well, with the access road, Commissioner, that there wasn't much drainage,
there, right.
yeah, on this access road.
Right.
To the north and other areas, there is some ditch works that come off of Southport. But I know that Glynn County personnel did use this access road as well to get back there to it, to the major, let's see what it look right real quick. Yeah, we're talking about right here.
That's not a public road, is it?
It is not a public road. It is actually,
Will we be putting in a fence at the top of it?
so I think we probably, Joint Water probably, there was a gate there, a cattle gate.
Yeah, great.
And, of course, sharing the access with our partners at Glynn County, anything we put back there, certainly they would have access, continued access. I think even maybe the billboard people access this here, because they would come down, and there's several billboards down through here, down our, basically where our outfall line goes from Exit 29 treatment plant. So, let's see, tank site is essentially here.
And they are actively installing piling out there, right?
They are, so if you go out there now, and you can drive right back, just if you see, somebody announce who you are, and you can pull up safely away from the activity, but right there at the end, they got a porta john, just park right there. You can see everything going on. Huge crane, have the pile driver, it's friction piles are pushing down, pre-stressed or prefab concrete. Sir?
You can see it from 95.
You can, if you look hard, you can see activity from 95, but not quite yet. There's still a lot of buffer, a lot of trees and all that. You can see the crane for sure. It's poking up above the trees. I think the piles, the marks on the crane, or on the pounder at least, are 85 feet. Pretty significant. Pretty cool to see. Commissioner Neal, so another access here, this is actually on the way that we access our treatment
Right.
plant.
Right.
Yeah, so
That wasn't where I was talking about. It was that.
what, was it
alley.
the south one? Okay.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I'm good.
Gotcha. Yeah, and this is something we may want to talk with Glynn County in the future about, maybe conveying. That is a Glynn County parcel, actually, that we use to
So our
access.
access road is not on our, you know,
Correct, correct. Yeah, our access road to our, here, I'll turn this off so we can see
the
it.
county owns it.
Yes.
Correct, correct. The county owns this parcel here. And then, Joint Water has the plant site itself, so. Addressing a little drainage and washout issues on that road, because it is unimproved at this point.
Right.
All right. Okay, moving along down here, this is Division 3, which is the water loops, the third part of this project here. And this is connecting the two subdivisions. Again, back here.
Contractor's trying to finish up Academy and Canal Road before they mobilize down there to get the water loops done, same contractor.
That's it. Cinder Hill and Bartram, connecting right here across this easement that we've obtained, which nicely shows in the mapping now. Our good customer here deeded us this easement across their property, and that's how we're going to connect the two formerly segregated water systems, improving the looping between and redundancy between there. Especially once that tank comes online and the new well, all this, should see some good improvements from there. All right, that's up at Southport, looking at the crossing there, we're gonna tie in, that's another one of the crossings for looping. That is the summary of the pictures, and we always do include the detail for all the projects. Pictures, once again, are just the stuff that's really kind of in motion. You might see something happening out in the field, and then the detail is for all of our named capital projects and the different stages that they are.
We'll note that we do have an RFP out for smoke testing per our discussion at the last meeting. So the current plan is to smoke test about 960,000 linear feet of pipe. That's both on all three of our systems. Bulk of that is the mainland and St. Simons. There's a couple of basins down at exit 29 we intend to smoke test. What was selected, we pulled and set parameters for increased pumping during rain events and pull the top 50 basins out. And of those 50 basins, we're doing 45 of them. 3 of them had no actual gravity basin to smoke test. They were just seeing increased flow rates because the upstream basin was seeing so high. And 2 of them, the gravity basins were so small, it did not make sense for us not to handle those internally. So we're doing the top 45 basins from an I&I perspective in the county. So pre-proposal call on that is tomorrow, and then bids are due back in September with a hopeful recommendation for award for y'all at the September meeting.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Todd. Do we need, we don't need executive session or nothing, do
No, sir.
we? Can I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Second.
Motion to adjourn.